It is the one night of the year where WWE goes extreme. Tonight, the superstars of Monday Night Raw brought it to the table tonight. And did they deliver? We're going to find out in just a moment. Welcome to the WWE Extreme Rules 2017 recap show. Hello, friends. It is the ridiculously over gentleman Anthony Florio here with you for this recap edition of Extreme Rules, a special edition of Ridiculously Raw. Two-man panel here tonight. I was first informed by good old MF Michael Fletcher that he will not be joining us tonight. I don't know if he's sick or if he has work commitments beyond his control, but unfortunately, MF will not be joining us. And on top of that, our first lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson, just notified me a short time ago. She's battling a headache, and unfortunately, she will not be joining us either due to illness. So that means the Yes Movement runs this show here tonight, as I am joined by my partner in crime in the Raw and SmackDown Live chat, fresh off another Special Olympic State Summer Games, the one and only Phenom Michael Bullock. And glad to have you here, Phenom, and we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. And, well, as far as some of the results go, it's like the classic book poem, Casey at the Bat, There Is No Joy in Mudville, as some of the results weren't really to our liking, but, you know, it is what it is. Things happen. So let's get through it. They had a kickoff match. We're not going to talk about it, but I'm going to give you a brief thought on it. It was Kalisto squaring off against Apollo Crews. Of course, Apollo Crews had Titus O'Neil in his corner. Kalisto wins the match in 9 minutes and 29 seconds after a Salida del Sol. Not as bad as I thought it would be. I'm going to give it a 2.25 star match. I mean, they did a nice job for the bulk of the match. It performed some flashy offense. Unfortunately, the finish was lousy. I'm not sure what WWE wants fans to make of Crews. Titus gets doofus heel heat, and it's hard to tell whether they want fans to boo Crews or hope that he will split with Titus. The kickoff show panel framed this as Titus costing Crews the match by overcoaching. But Crews looked like a goof for stopping what he was doing to listen to Titus. For that matter, he looks like a goof for being associated with Titus to begin with. But nonetheless, though, not as bad as I thought it would be. So I will give that a solid 2.25 stars. So that's a brief little thought on that. Now let's get to the main card of Extreme Rules, which was live tonight at the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, exclusively on the WWE Network and on some traditional pay-per-view outlets. And we started off with the match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Champion Dean Ambrose defending the title against challenger and former champion The Miz, of course, accompanied by his gorgeous wife, Maryse. You remember the stipulation and the caveat that was added to this bout. If Dean Ambrose would get disqualified, he would lose the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. Winner of the match in just about 20 minutes, and new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, The Miz, wins the match in between 20 minutes and 20 minutes and 2 seconds. 2.75 stars is my rating for this. Another Miz title reign. I enjoy Miz more than most, but it's hard to be excited about a guy winning his 7th IC championship. The match was awkward early as they didn't get very creative with the stipulation during the first half of the bout. They did a better job down the stretch, but Miz's strategy of having Maryse slap him is ridiculous, and that he waited until so late in the match to do it. The crowd really bought into the question of whether Ambrose would be disqualified after he was run into the referee, so that was well done. 2.75, teetering on 3 stars, a solid way to start off Extreme Rules, and no big surprise. We knew Miz was going to win this thing. I'm just surprised that they didn't utilize the DQ stipulation for it, but nonetheless, The Miz, now a 7-time Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, now second on the all-time list of most wins, only behind the leader of, the list and stupid idiots and muttonheads, Chris Jericho, who has 9 Intercontinental title reigns. So Ambrose's reign ends at 152 days after taking it off of Miz on the very first SmackDown Live of this year. So The Miz, once again, Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Expect a rematch at the earliest possible date, maybe tomorrow night on Raw. a future Raw, or maybe even at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view next month. We'll see. But there will be a rematch. You can bet on that. So Miz wins it, 2 3/4, 3 stars. That's just about what I can give it. So Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in. The Miz, the awesome one, once again Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and we're going to embark on the Miz Intercontinental Championship comeback tour, I'm afraid.
Yep, we are part of the Miz Intercontinental Championship comeback tour. I'm going to give it the solid 3 stars. I mean, I know some people wanted a DQ finish just so that way the Miz can win the Intercontinental Championship, but to be quite honest, I mean, I'm glad that it ended via a pinfall because you know me, I'd rather have title matches like this end via or change hands via a pinfall or a submission and not a disqualification. So yeah, it was a good match for what it was. I mean, it did feel awkward at the beginning, but in the end, I thought it was good for what it was. I mean, or as we always like to say, good but not great. So 3 stars is my rating. So Florio, let's move on to the next match, which I will lead off on.
Yes, indeed, you will, Bullock, and this was one of the matches that we didn't really have high hopes for going in. It was the mixed tag team match. It was the Boss, Sasha Banks, and the outlandish Rich Swann back in his hometown of Baltimore, Maryland, squaring off against Alicia Fox and the Scottish Supernova Noam Dar. Winners of the match in 6 minutes and 20 seconds, Sasha Banks and Rich Swann. Rich Swann with the Phoenix Splash on Noam Dar for the 1, 2, 3. So Banks and Swann pick up the Duke in Swann's hometown of Baltimore. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this mixed tag bout?
I'm actually going to give it about 1 to 1.5 stars as my rating on it. I mean, it was good for what it was, but too short for my liking, and I mean, no surprise here that that Rich Swann and Sasha Banks were going to go over. I mean, we pretty much knew this was going to happen, especially since this was in Swann's hometown. So nothing really more to say. 1 to 1.5 stars, even though I'm leaning more towards the 1 star, since it was short. So nothing more I could say. Florio, it's yours.
I'm actually going to give it 2 stars for the effort, Bullock. Who says baby faces can't win in their hometown? I guess the usual rules don't apply to cruiserweights and or mixed tag matches. And yes, supposedly cool, Sasha once again did the lasso dance. And, they had that little dance party, breaking out into I was having flashbacks to that old school show on the USA Network, Dance Party USA. I mean, that's pretty much what it turned into. It turned into an episode of Dance Party USA, for goodness sakes. But 2-star match. I mean, it was a solid match for what it was. I mean, I'm not going to totally crap all over it. I mean, I know it will go down as one of the worst fights of the night, if not the worst fight of the night. So that's really all there is to say on that. So I will give that a solid 2 stars for the efforts. So with that said, we move on now to the Singapore Cane / Kendo Stick on a Pole match for the Raw Women's Championship. Champion Alexa Bliss defending the title against challenger and former champion Bayley. Winner of the match in about 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Or what do we have? 5 minutes and 10 seconds to 5 minutes and 12 seconds. And still the Raw Women's Champion, it was Alexa Bliss. I'm sorry, I got to call it. This was the worst fight of the night. The mixed tag was actually better than this. Hard to believe. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true. But nonetheless, let me see. it took WWE production more time to attach the camera to the top of the pole than it did for the women to take the kendo stick down. Anyway, this came off very lopsided in favor of Bliss. The broadcast team told the story that Bayley hesitated when she had a chance to use the kendo stick, but it wasn't much of a cover for the babyface. I mean, I did not have high hopes for this match going in, and I'm not surprised that I was right. So, yeah, because that was awful. That was not good. I mean, I don't know what was.
You were hoping you were wrong.
I was hoping I was wrong. I mean, the only caveat here, this match was actually better than that god-awful segment on Monday Night Raw. Let's not kid ourselves. So that's really all I can say on this. I knew this was going to be one of the worst fights of the night, and I'm not surprised. So I thought it was going to be at worst the second worst fight of the night because I didn't really have all that high of hopes for the mixed tag, but mixed tag was actually better. Can't believe I'm saying that. And my rating for it, 1.25 stars. That's the best I can go. 1.25. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a change, and I'm gonna give that mixed tag team match a 2-star rating. I'm gonna give this a 1-star rating. I mean, yeah, I was hoping that this would be a much better match, but unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. I mean, I really wasn't all that impressed with it, and once again, and this is what I'm gonna say. And Florio, I don't know if you're gonna agree with me on this, but they're continuing to make Bayley look like a freaking tool. I'm sorry. I mean, this was the same Bayley that had awesome matches down in NXT. I mean, the first NXT takeover in Brooklyn. I mean, the match against Sasha Banks. That match stole the show. That Iron Man match against Sasha Banks at the next takeover. That was another damn good match. And I mean, we were hoping for. I mean, she's had some good runs and since coming to Raw, but lately they've made her look like a total tool, and that really gets me upset. And WWE, I mean, if you're really gonna make us take Bayley seriously once again, you need to stop making her look like a tool and embarrassing her, and make her that woman's wrestler that she was before she came up to the main roster. So, because if you don't, you're gonna have one very angry member, not just of the IWC, but a member of the hugger section. So get your act together, make Bayley that we all knew. So if you don't, I'm gonna be very pissed off. Florio, it's yours.
Well, I don't think that that pissed off feeling is gonna go away anytime soon because what happens next? Oh my! Well, for the first time since these guys came back, we're not gonna get to have fun with it. I mean, we had to come back to reality at some point. I mean, the last couple of months, we were having fun with this team. Whenever they won matches, and we would talk about green beans and obsolete mules, but not on this night, because coming up next, it is the steel cage match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Champions, Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, or as we call them, Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, defending the titles against challengers and former Raw Tag Team Champions in their own right, Sheamus and Cesaro. The winners of the match from between 15 minutes and 15 minutes and 2 seconds. And new, once again, Raw Tag Team Champions, Sheamus and Cesaro. They escaped the cage just before the Hardys did. There is no joy at House Hardy or the Hardy compound tonight. For the first time since 2 months ago when they made their epic return at WrestleMania. So, Brother Bullock, unfortunately, for the first time since we started this whole thing, we're not going to get to have some green beans tonight. No green beans. No green beans for anyone tonight.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good whatsoever. So, what did you say the time of the fall was?
15 minutes even to 15 minutes and 2 seconds.
All right. I thought this was a really good match for what it was, and in that time frame, and I'll give it about somewhere between 3 to 3.5 stars is my rating on it. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we knew eventually that the Hardys were going to lose. I mean, I thought they were going to eventually keep the titles on them, but I guess maybe they figured this was the time for the change. So, yep, no green means tonight, unfortunately. 3 to 3.5 stars. Florio, it is yours.
No green beans. No green beans for anyone tonight. And maybe it is best that MF wasn't with us, because he wouldn't have been able to do the song anyway, even if he was here. But the obsolete song that Jeff Hardy made famous in TNA. But
yeah, maybe him not being here maybe was a good thing.
I'm gonna meet you in the middle on the rating, Bullock. This to me was my third best fight of the night. The next 3 matches we're gonna get into, I'll tell you right now, they are the top 3 fights of the night for sure, hands down. But this was the third best fight of the night for me. 3.25 stars. I'm gonna give for the rating here. It felt like they were making up the rules of the match as they went. I don't recall them laying out these rules going into the show. And even if there are examples of similar rules being in play, they really should have explained it better going into the show. Fortunately, the crowd was hot for the match, despite the strange ruling that Jeff's escape didn't count once he returned to the match. I can't say the outcome really surprises me, if only because they don't seem to be setting up anyone else as potential opponents for either team. Thus, this feud will continue. Heck, maybe we'll even get the Broken Hardys if they can secure the rights. We've been waiting for it. And I think after this loss tonight, maybe we will get the Broken Hardys. Maybe we'll finally get the Broken Brilliance of Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. And then we can really have some fun with the green beans and the obsolete mules and all that. But nonetheless, I do expect, just like with the Intercontinental, I expect a rematch at the earliest possible date. Again, that could be tomorrow night on Raw. It could be a future Monday Night Raw down the line, or maybe even at the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view next month in Dallas. We don't know. So that's all I can say on that. 3.25 stars, third best fight of the night. And now we move on to the submission match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Champion Adrian Neville defending the title one more time against A-Double, the greatest man who ever lived, Austin Aries. The winner of the match in between 17 minutes and 28 seconds to 17 minutes and 35 seconds. And still the WWE Cruiserweight Champion, Adrian Neville. He finds another way to win again. Second best fight of the night. Hands down. This was the second best fight of the night. Solid 3.5 stars. Very good match. The finish protected Aries to some extent by having Neville tap at ringside. Even so, it feels like it's time to move on from this program. The problem? None of the Cruiserweight babyfaces have been given momentum or positioned as worthy contenders to Neville. I mean, yeah, Rich Swann, picked up the win in the mixed tag tonight. I mean, but we've already seen that program. That program was dead and buried after the Royal Rumble. It looks like the Aries feud, the Aries experiment is done for now, unless they want to continue that. So, who's next? My best guess right now, maybe the returning Cedric Alexander, who just came back from injury. I would love to see Alexander and Neville. That would be one hell of a cruiserweight feud. It really would. So, yeah, I mean, my heart breaks and my heart bleeds for my man A-Double, but it is what it is. And Adrian Neville once again finds another way to win. What a beautiful red arrow there. right onto the back of Aries, locks in the rings of Saturn, and ball game over. And that was it. Adrian Neville's still the cruiserweight champion. So, second best fight of the night, hands down, 3.5 stars. This match delivered. I knew it would. I'm not surprised. So, Michael Bullock, Phenom, your thoughts on this submission match? And you know how much we love technical wrestling. Tonight, this match here was technical wrestling at its finest, right up there with those classics that we grew up watching.
Yeah, it certainly was. What did you rate it, Florio?
Solid 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna agree. That was a solid 3.5 star match, and yeah, I mean, I certainly enjoyed it, and yeah, Neville still is the cruiserweight champion, and yeah, I mean, what a red arrow, and then basically turns it into rings of Saturn, and bam, there you go. He's still the cruiserweight champ, and bad for Austin Aries. I mean, I was thinking that this was going to be the time he was finally gonna win the cruiserweight championship, but once again, we are proven wrong. And like you said, now the only question is, who's going to challenge Neville for the cruiserweight championship next? I mean, I would love to see Cedric Alexander to be the one, but to me, Florio, I think the thing is, I think it's too soon for him because he just came back from injury, and I think you want to like at least give him some time before giving him a cruiserweight title shot. So, I mean, who could be next? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be Rich Swann, but like you said, we've seen that feud. I mean, we've already seen like Jack Gallagher get a shot at it, but I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that it does turn out to be Cedric Alexander, but me, in my honest opinion, like I just said, I think it's too soon for him because he did just come back from injury. So, 3.5 stars. Florio, let's move on.
Another name that came to mind, even though he's a heel, maybe they could transition him back to a babyface, TJP. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that, considering that little angle. So we'll find out either tomorrow night on Raw or maybe even Tuesday night on 205 Live. We'll find out. But now, are you ready, Bullock? Because now it's time for the main event. The fatal.
Oh, I'm ready.
The fatal 5-way match that was contested under Extreme Rules. Yes, sir.
That was
Roman Reigns.
Roberts.
Yep, that was for Justin Roberts, absolutely. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, Samoa Joe. The winner will go on to face Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship next month at Great Balls of Fire. Winner of the match. Between 29 minutes and 8 seconds to 29 minutes and 15 seconds. And the number one contender for the Universal Championship and facing Brock Lesnar next month, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. The Coquina clutch on Finn Balor. Balor passes out. Samoa Joe, he killed him. That's it. Joe's going to kill you, man. And, well, so much for that Finn Balor idea. Samoa Joe wins the match. Time of the fall between 29 minutes and 8 seconds to 29 minutes and 15 seconds. Michael Bullock, get ready, my man, because next month we are going to witness the greatest Be a Man fight of all time. My goodness, my sides are aching just thinking about it.
Oh, man. I really cannot wait for that. I'm going to give it 4 to 4.25 stars. Fight of the night, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, especially with this match being under Extreme Rules. And I'm actually going to surprise you for it. I'm actually not surprised about the end result here because I did hear a rumor on some websites that they were actually going to have Samoa Joe be the one to go over and face Brock Lesnar for the Universal title, and it turns out those rumors were true. And yeah, Samoa Joe now is the number one contender for the Universal Championship. And I mean, man, what a match we saw. I mean, we saw everything from chairs being used to guys going through the announcers wall barrier there. So yeah, I mean, this is a fun match to watch here. And yeah, now at Great Balls of Fire, Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, and will certainly be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Be a Man fight in WWE history. And I certainly cannot wait for this match in 5 weeks. 4 to 4.25 stars, fight of the night. Florio, I cannot wait.
I cannot wait either, Bullock. My sides are aching just thinking about it. Like I said,
I mean,
this
5 weeks can't. I mean, 5 weeks can't. Can't get here fast enough.
hallelujah to that, Bullock. I'm right there with you. But nonetheless, I'm going to agree on the rating. I'm going to give it a solid 4.25 stars. No doubt about it. This was the fight of the night. We knew it was. I mean, come on. Was there any doubt what was going to be the fight of the night going into this event? It was a highly entertaining main event with hard work by all five men and some very good late near falls that definitely brought that element of Shakespearean drama. You know how much we love Shakespearean drama here. Balor was protected even though he lost the match, as he seemingly had Reigns beat before Joe caught him in his submission finisher from behind. The only real negative is that Joe didn't really do anything to come off as a threat to Lesnar during the match. He spent most of his time double teaming the baby faces with Bray Wyatt. It was once again surprised when Bray Wyatt turned on him. That said, creative should be able to build up Joe in a big way over the next month on Raw before the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view in 5 weeks on July 9th in Dallas. And if you like physical, smash mouth wrestling, you're going to get that next month when Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar throw down for the Universal Championship in at Great Balls of Fire. I mean, that thing is going to be unbelievable. That's really all there is to say on that. So I'm actually going to tweak my rating on that just a little bit. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. No doubt about it. It was the fight of the night. So with that being said, let's get into our overall review. All started off. I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 is my rating for this event tonight. Main event, of course, the fight of the night. 4.25 to 4.5 stars. That was an overall excellent main event. It was a bit slavish to the multi-man formula at times, but all five men worked their asses off, kept the crowd involved, gave us some memorable moments, and I thought that the finish was not only well done, but teasing Balor coming from behind to win, but came off great and provided a great climax to the bout. If you're going to do Joe versus Lesnar, you need to do it now. Joe has been booked well and protected. He's not getting any younger. And no matter how much we wish 2005 Samoa Joe won't be walking down the ramp at the pay-per-view, I hope that it is not a complete squash job by Lesnar, because I think that they could easily pull off a kick-ass, balls to the wall, 8 to 10 minute sprint where they go crazy before Lesnar retains. Yes, I have Brock Lesnar going over. No doubt about that. Second best fight of the night, the submission match. I mean, that was 3.5 stars. I pretty much gave you my thought on that. That excellent submission match. And then the third best fight of the night, you got to go with the cage match for the tag team titles. I mean, that was 3.25 stars. And with the Hardys dominating that feud and WWE wanting to switch the titles without having them get pinned, that was exactly what they did. It was good, but it did feel a little underwhelming and disappointing considering the talent involved. So that's all I can say there. And then the fourth best fight of the night, I got to give it to the Intercontinental match. I mean, 2.75 to 3 stars on that, maybe even 3.25. That was a good match overall. It's the title. Thankfully, back on The Miz, who works better as a champion. And then, of course, rounding out and then the fifth best fight was the mixed tag. Swan had the hometown win, and solid, even though it felt like a quick TV match, and they gave the fans a feel-good moment with Swan winning in his hometown. And then the worst fight of the night, hands down, it was the women's championship match. I mean, maybe, and I think it was maybe even a blessing in disguise that Didi Woodson wasn't here. Maybe I think she would have gone off on a big time rant if she didn't have that headache tonight. But who knows? Maybe that match made her headache even worse. I mean, that's
oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I mean, I get what they wanted to do in that match. I mean, they were trying, with Bayley, but it didn't help her in any way. They think they can have her lose and look like a fool and still be over. No, that wasn't the case. She got booed during her promo. Her reaction during her entrance was poor. And then the heel was completely right. Poor Bayley was weak and couldn't step up and was easily defeated again. Basically, Bayley was called a loser. She tried to fight Bliss game and then humiliated and owned. WWE has a tremendous ability of getting people under instead of over and are destroying a huge babyface commodity. Worst of all, that match was just very bad and completely lacked any and all
and that
drama.
really pisses me off.
And it was a failure on every level. But I'm still going to give it a 7 out of 10 anyways. Overall, WWE Extreme Rules was a good show with a consistent undercard minus the women's match and a very exciting main event that, without question, will go up there in match of the year candidacy for sure. So that's all I can say on that. Solid 7 out of 10. So, Michael Bullock, your overall thoughts on this Raw exclusive Extreme Rules pay-per-view tonight in Baltimore?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 as well. I mean, I thought it was a good edition of Extreme Rules, and I mean, yeah, everything. Everything I thought was good to great. I mean, with the exception of that the mixed tag and the Raw Women's Title match, and yeah, I mean, you basically pretty much touched on everything. And yeah, maybe it's a good thing Didi Woodson didn't get on the show tonight, because if she did, I would have done the same thing like Fletcher did on Monday Night Raw. I would have just simply skipped over Didi Woodson and probably tossed it back to you, because I wouldn't want Didi Woodson to go off on one of those rants of hers when it comes to the women's division. Because trust me, folks, when she goes off on a rant, she really does, and you do not want to get on Didi Woodson's bad side. We've seen it before, and trust me, it's not pretty. So nothing else to say. 7 out of 10. Florio, let's just put a bow on this edition of our this special edition of Ridiculously Raw, the Extreme Rules recap.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what we're going to do right now. So that will do it for this special edition of Ridiculously Raw, our Extreme Rules recap edition of it. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, don't forget, tomorrow night, right at this time, we'll be back tomorrow night, immediately following Monday Night Raw, for another edition of Ridiculously Raw. Myself and Michael Bullock will be here. MF will be back with us. We'll see about Didi Woodson. We'll see how she feels going into tomorrow night. Hopefully she'll be with us. We'll find out soon enough. She said she was going to post her own review tomorrow, so maybe she'll be back with us tomorrow. So we'll see on that. But nonetheless, we're going to have Ridiculously Raw. We're going to sort out all the fallout from Extreme Rules on Monday Night Raw. Maybe we'll start to build to Joe and Lesnar. We'll see. And then, we'll review Monday Night Raw like we always do. And, of course, I'll also have my Tony's Take on 205 Live and Impact Wrestling. And then Tuesday night at either 10 or 10:30 over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, we will have another all-new edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, where we'll review SmackDown Live as we continue on the road to Money in the Bank. That event's in 2 weeks. And let's see. Maybe and MF will have his Mikey's Mindset, as he will review the season premiere of Lucha Underground, which just came back last week, as he'll review that all night long match between Johnny Mundo and the Mac for the Lucha Underground Championship. And what a match it was, let me tell you right now. And then Friday night, of course, 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25, we will have Strictly Sports. And I don't know what's on the docket, but the indication is we'll have Bullock share his Special Olympics State Summer Games experiences like we always do. We'll probably have UFC 212. We'll probably have MF's full recap of UFC 212, MLB Power Rankings as well, and if we do the outrage, we definitely have the outrage topic for next week since Bullock will be back with us. The LeVar Ball situation, we're going to definitely get into that. So, and I know Bo's been chomping at the bits to go off on that ham and egger. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for Ridiculously Raw, it's the Ridiculously Over gentleman Anthony Fleury here for the Phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson, and the Hardcore Pipe Bomb himself, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Monday. And until tomorrow night for Ridiculously Raw, you've been watching this very special edition of Ridiculously Raw, our Extreme Rules 2017 recap right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.